Hello and welcome back to the Riled Up podcast. It's been a minute. I know we were just going off and off about how we were going to be consistent. Yeah, we just got to stop talking about it and just do it.
It's a stressful time of the year also.
Yeah, we've both been bouncing around doing all types of stuff between football going and basketball going at the same time. I've been all over the place. So settling down a little bit, getting a little break in between everything going on and knocking out some riled up episodes.
Yep.
Got to get back to it. But since we've missed so much, we've got a lot to talk about.
We do.
Ton to talk about. A lot of Vol football news. And last few weeks we've got 3 games to recap. We'll start with the oldest one. The one
we don't want to talk about.
Bama game. Going to halftime up 20-7, and then get 27 put on your head in the second half, not putting up any. Get shut out in the second half.
Yeah.
It was rough. But that being said, yeah, it was one of the best games that Joe had all season. 28-41, 271 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air. And then he had 15 carries for 59 yards. So, I mean, pretty solid game from Joe. Alabama stuffed the run, which is, I think, what they knew they were going to have to do to win this game.
Yeah.
Pretty obvious what Tennessee's strength had been up to that point of the season. It'd been, Dylan Sampson, Jabari Small, Jalen Wright, just pounding the rock, and it worked for most every game until we got up against Alabama and the rush game disappeared.
Yeah.
38 total attempts for 133 yards. Ooh.
Not much to say.
Yeah.
Not much praise going on there, obviously.
Not good. Yeah, the only real bright spot was Joe with his 60 yards rushing. So, big shout out to Joe Milton.
Yeah.
This was his
really
game.
Good.
Squirrel, gotta say that. Squirrel, 10 receptions, 111 yards. Started the game off with that big catch. The touchdown catch where he dragged the feet to get in. That was sick. Ramel had his a little bounce back game that's kind of kicked him into gear because he's continued that performance. He had 5 catches for 71 yards. Only thing to knock Joe for, it did lose a fumble. I want to say that was pretty early on in the game.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm wrong. But other than that, anyone else to mention? I mean, there was somebody had an interception, right? Yeah, Tank. Jalen McCullough had an interception. So good on him for that. But other than that, not a whole lot of bright spots for the Vols. It was, in my opinion, this was a loss that was entirely on Josh Heupel.
I agree.
It was a terrible coaching job in that second half. Awful, really bad, terrible, really, really bad.
We can't stress how bad it was.
Yeah, it was. The offense was all shut down. Joe had been slinging it around, and I get you're up 20-7, and you want to try to condense the offense and run out some clock or whatever, but you're not going to be able to do that against Nick Saban. He's been stopping your run game all day. It's not going to stop them. Keep airing the ball out. Keep letting Joe do what he does. Do what he was doing well in that game.
Very well.
Shutting it down made no sense. I get you want to limit turnovers, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but you also want to put points on the board because Alabama is going to put points on the board.
Yes.
So, Josh, terrible performance in Tuscaloosa, but then they turned right around and took a road trip over to Kentucky. Up to Lexington, Kroger Field, ranked 21st at the time, right? A lot of people had Tennessee going into this game. A lot of people had Tennessee losing this game.
Yes.
It was a pretty popular thing to, if you
before, it's kind of hard to say erase what actually happened, but beforehand, I don't think the only thing that scared me the most was the loss we were coming off of, and we were going there still. But I wasn't as worried as people on social media were about it.
Yeah. Sold out Kroger Field, 7:00 nighttime game in Lexington. It was the ESPN game. It was It was the big one. It was the big one for the night slate. But Tennessee was favored technically by Vegas, road favorites, which is usually a good sign. That being said, they did exceed a lot of people's expectations. There were a lot
Took
of
care of
people
business.
taking the Kentucky in the points.
Yes.
A lot of people taking Kentucky with the points. And I think the game did not go how anyone expected, but it's not entirely surprising given what happened. Since the Vols lost Kamal Hadden, which if you've been listening to the podcast so far, you know our thoughts on Kamal Hadden by now. You know that we think he deserved every bit of praise that he was getting this season. He was playing like one of the best corners in the SEC, and had just had an incredible season up until that point. And it sucked to see him go down in that Bama game.
Yeah, that was a tough loss.
Really tough loss.
Team.
That
sucked.
It's especially at the cornerback position, because outside of Kamal and Gabe Judy Lowry, you don't really have a lot of production. So it was just tough. Of all people to go down, for it to be him having this, just comeback season.
Yes, comeback season.
Ball fan base falling in love with him finally after, getting a lot of up and down moments with him throughout the years. And he was playing out of his mind, and of course that had to be cut short by an injury, which just sucks to see. You hate to see it. And Kentucky knew that, and they took advantage of it. Devin Leary, who up until this point in the season had been pretty terrible, 372 yards. That's bad. Giving up 372 yards, 2 touchdowns to Devin Leary is bad.
Yeah, not good.
But the running back who up until this point a lot of people had considered the best running back in the SEC, Ray Davis, for Kentucky, only had 42 yards on 16 carries. So super dominant performance from that run defense. They locked it down. Big O on the interior. Aaron Beasley, the linebackers, just absolutely locked Ray Davis down. He wasn't able to get anything going. And on the opposite side of that, Jalen Wright, I'm going to keep talking about him because he deserves to keep being talked about.
It's so funny. I just know you're going to say something.
Because look.
It's deserving.
That's what I'm saying. I've been preaching Jalen Wright for forever, and I'm getting to do my victory lap because he's turning up each and every game. 11 carries, 120 yards, and a touchdown. It's over 10 yards per carry. That's the type of explosiveness he brings, and why I think it's so dumb that Jabari Small ever gets any carries over him in goal line situations, in red zone situations, and 3rd and 1s, whatever. I don't care what it is. Give Jalen Wright the ball, because there's a chance that he can turn that 3rd and 1 into a touchdown. I don't care if it's the 40, the 50, the 1, the other one. Give it to Jalen Wright. That's my Jalen Wright rant for today.
I agree.
Had to get that off my chest, my Jalen Wright rant for the day.
Okay.
But Joe in that game kind of picked up where he left off. Really good completion percentage, 18 of 21. Wasn't missing on a lot. He was pretty accurate, 228 yards and a touchdown for Joe. I forget who.
Love to see that.
So Chaz Nimrod, that's right. That one big catch he had. The again, letting him throw it down the field. 1 catch, 39 yards, touchdown. Let him throw that ball down the field. He's gonna make good things happen.
Please. That's all we want.
Please.
That's all we want.
Please, Josh. And I think he kind of learned his lesson, because he never really let off the gas against Kentucky, even though they were up 14 points at halftime. It was, say, 23 to 17. Yeah. So that's not right. I didn't do that math right.
13.
I didn't do the math right. Oh, well. 6 points. Up 6 points at halftime. And they equaled their score 10-10 in the second half. So a little less offense, but also I don't think that was a result of Josh Heupel like closing down the playbook. It was more a result of the game being shorter in the second half, because both teams were running the ball more. Because both teams wanted to establish that run game. Tennessee was able to. Kentucky was not. Kentucky was not able to establish that run game. And yeah, going forward, yeah, in that game also Dylan Sampson, ton of carries for him.
Yeah, Dylan Sampson.
Ton of carries for Dylan
I
Sampson.
like him. I love him. Like, I don't know. I just feel like he's not talked about.
Dylan Sampson?
Kinda. Well, I don't want to say kinda. I feel like on social media he doesn't. Not that he's Jalen Wright, okay. But I'm saying like he does a lot of good things, and I feel like he doesn't really like it. Kind of goes unnoticed. I guess is what I'm saying. Kind of.
Yeah, I see that.
Like within the fan base.
For me, as long as he's getting less carries than Jalen Wright, which he did not do in this game. He had more carries. 6 more carries than Jalen Wright in this game. But as long as he has less carries than Jalen Wright, I'm fine. Because
you can do that.
The way I see it, it needs to be like first and second down, Jalen Wright needs to be on the field, and then third down, you can have like Dylan Sampson.
Yeah.
In like obvious passing situations. If it's like 3rd and 1, keep Jalen Wright out there, give him the ball.
Yeah, I agree.
But in like obvious passing situations, I think it's fine to have Dylan Sampson on the field because he's very explosive. And I'm even fine with him eating away at a couple of the carries that Jalen Wright gets because he's very explosive as well. He has that ability to break off a super long run at any point. So I'm fine with him getting carries as well. But as long as they're less than Jalen Wright's carries, which again did not happen in this game. No. By the way, Jabari Small also still had 9 carries, 32 yards on 9 carries. So if we go by yards per carry, 10.9 yards per carry for Jalen Wright, 4.4 for Dylan Sampson, 3.6 for Jabari, and then 2.6 for Joe. He had 10 for 26. Lot of the movement on the ground for Joe. I think a lot of that counts as sacks as well. So you can't, that number is not super duper accurate. But yeah, there wasn't much else to say about the Kentucky game. It was just a lot of back and forth. Tennessee never really.
I thought it was really back and forth. Like it was just.
Yeah. It was here and there, and both teams were scoring a lot.
Yeah.
But Tennessee never gave up the lead. Like in that game, they started with the lead and they never gave it up. So yeah, they were connecting on the deep ball, moving the ball in the run. And the most important part about that Kentucky win is that it was a road win. Hostile environment. Yeah. That's the biggest question for Tennessee right now is can they win on the road? And in this game, they did.
Mm-hmm.
And they won on the road it was a pretty strong showing, I would say. I would say this game was a little bit further than the box score would tell you. Tennessee, it was a little more lopsided in the favor of Tennessee than the box score would tell you. But they did it. They went on the road, got a win, put together 2 full halves of football against which they weren't able to do against Bama, which is why they lost on the road to Bama.
Yes.
They couldn't do it against Flick and put 1 quarter of football out there for Florida. And that's why they lost that game. But they gave a full game against Kentucky, and they won the game for that reason. Even missing their best defensive playmaker and, whatever else. But wrapped up the road trip, came back home, homecoming game.
Woo!
Yeah. Against UConn. The Connecticut Huskies, which has a lot of history against the University of Tennessee, but not in football. In women's basketball, obviously 2 of the most historic programs in women's basketball history. And for that reason, the Vols football team for homecoming wore Summit blue accents.
I loved it.
It was sick.
I loved it. I've preached on this podcast that blue, no matter like what school, obviously, but like that blue is like my favorite. But the Summit blue with our orange just looks so good.
Yeah, Summit blue, orange, white. A bit
more of it in our jerseys. I'm not gonna lie.
In the men's team jersey?
Yes.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I think it's better if they keep it a women's basketball, women's volleyball. I think they need to keep it a women's side. Yeah, I think they need to keep it.
But every now and then, it just looks so good together.
Yeah, and I think it's cool when they do things like this.
Yeah, of course.
One time like to honor Pat Summitt.
It looks so good.
The GOAT Pat Summitt. Yeah, I think it looks really cool when they do something like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, I love the look. I think it was sick. D. Williams was dripped out in the Summit blue accents and stuff.
No, my favorite thing was Joe's ball walk outfit.
I didn't even see it. Oh, wait. Yeah. The trench coat. The trench coat was super cool.
That was cool.
What did he?
Everybody was dripped out that
He
game.
had a crazy caption. It was like,
I'm about to look at it. It
it
was
was
so funny.
something because how hard my picks are. Call me Disney because of how hard my picks are, or something
That's
like
what
that. It was something like that.
this is it. No, even Disney know how.
Even Disney know how hard my picks are. There
That
you
is
go.
so funny.
Yeah.
And his shoes and his beanie was Summit blue, but like the rest of his outfit was like neutral colors. That's
Yeah.
good.
It was sick. It was sick.
I feel like everybody was really hyped up for that game. Like it was just that was a fun game.
Yeah.
And everything surrounded it was just homecoming, I guess, but
I mean, yeah. So yeah, the Summit Blue accent, super sick. I want to see it more, but not too often. Like keep it a women's sports thing.
yeah,
To the part that's part I feel like that's part of that legacy of Pat Summit.
I agree.
Her role in women's athletics. Keep it a women's sports thing, but I like when the men's teams do things to honor it here and there. I think it looks sick. And yeah, this is just sick color combination, and can't wait to see more of it this season for the Lady Vols, especially since they're gonna have the Summit Blue uniforms. I don't know when they're gonna wear them, but those uniforms, some of my favorites. But that being said, enough about the outside things about the UConn game. We got to talk about what went on during the game. And oh my gosh, UConn scored 3 points at the beginning of the game. I want to say it was like their second. Yeah, it was their second drive. They scored a field goal. From that point on, they did not. They did not
ever
score the game. They did not score a single time. I'm sure they got in the red zone here and there, but they did not score from that point on.
No.
And gotta give a shout out to guess who?
I don't know.
Jalen Wright.
Oh.
First drive for Tennessee. Jalen Wright, run for 3 yards. Very next play, 2nd and 7 from the Tennessee 18. This is from the 18, by the way. Jalen Wright, run for 82 yards for the touchdown.
I saw on your face when you talk about Jalen Wright.
Look, it's because he's the most exciting player to watch for Tennessee.
No, I'm not disagreeing.
The most exciting player, in my opinion, to watch play for Tennessee. He's just on a different level. He's sick. I love Joe. I love Squirrel. Like they're great players, exciting players, but Jalen Wright is on a different level.
I know what you mean.
Only got 8 carries in this game for 113 yards and a touchdown. Only got 8 carries. And this is one of those scenarios where I'm fine with him only having 8 carries. Because from that point on, it's like save his health.
Yeah.
But at this point, just don't, what you have in Jalen Wright. You know he's your best piece. He's your best offensive playmaker. Do not get him hurt.
Yes.
So from there, Joe, 11 for 14, 254 yards, 2 tutties for Joe. I want to say he like aired one out. I don't remember what his longest pass was, but it was he had that 83-yard touchdown to Squirrel White. He had the 60-yard touchdown to Ramel Keaton, where they just like defensive breakdown. I don't even really know how it happened, but
the one where he was like wide open.
Ramel?
Yes.
Insane.
That was crazy.
Like wide open, perfect little.
When I was watching from home. I wasn't at the game, and I was like, "Where is everybody at?"
Yeah, it was crazy. There was not a UConn defender within like 30 yards of him.
Without a doubt, yes.
He walked into the end zone. Did like a little sleep celebrate. Like that was cool. The little celebration was sick.
That was cool.
The celebration was sick. Joe Milton ran another one in.
Sorry.
Which one?
Everybody when they did that.
Yeah.
Who was it?
It was a bunch of them. It was
like 3 of them in a row, and that's also saw posted for the next like 3 hours.
Was it the defense?
Maybe I don't remember who it was.
I don't remember if it was
That's the only video I saw on my social media for forever.
Like,
they're all in a line and they're like doing this.
Yeah, it was sick. Joe Milton doing his like Superman pose again.
Yep.
Some little Cam Newton influence. Little Cam Newton influence. Love to see that. From there was a 83-yard touchdown to Squirrel White. He kind of like got it to him over the middle, and he just kind of ran the rest of the way. There was Tyler Barron. Had a 24-yard fumble return. So sick. Tyler Barron. he hasn't. He's been like he's had his impact on the game, but the one thing we've been missing is like turnovers. From hitting the quarterback, getting to the quarterback,
Yeah.
causing fumbles, strip sacks, things like that. And we got that today. I don't remember who forced the fumble. It wasn't Tyler Barron that actually forced the fumble. But he did end up like picking it up and running the rest of the way with it. So it was sick to see the defense score touchdowns, and they did it 2 more times.
I love when that happens.
Did it 2 more times, which by the way, Tennessee like record. Never, it's never happened before in Tennessee's history where the defense has scored 3 touchdowns.
Really?
Never happened, or in recorded Tennessee history has never happened before. So they did it on not 3 consecutive drives, but it was the Tyler Barron fumble return. Then UConn punted, ran out the half, and then 2 pick sixes. One on the first play. UConn gets the ball outside of the half. Jalen McCullough, another interception, second interception. I feel like Jalen McCullough's a guy that does not get interceptions very often.
Yeah.
He's usually a guy that's like one of those like downhill tackler safeties, like not really one of the ball hawk safeties. But he threw it just straight to him, straight to Jalen McCullough, who ran it 30 yards, touchdown. And then they got the ball back. Obviously, UConn did. And Aaron Beasley got his own 39-yard interception return. So super sick for them. Super sick moment for the defense playing like that.
Mm-hmm.
You love to see it. And from there, we got Nico.
That's who I thought you were gonna say you were excited for earlier. That's who I was excited for.
Everyone was excited for Nico. Everyone wanted to see what Nico had going on.
Because that was the game. Everybody was looking forward to that.
Everybody was looking for it. That's why people stayed past halftime when Tennessee was up 35-3 at the half. That's why people stayed. They wanted to see Nico, and they did. We got to see Nico in a little bit of game action.
Got to see a Nico touchdown.
Nico was 5 for 9, 86 yards, and a touchdown. Wasn't perfect, missed on some throws, but you also saw the reason he was a 5-star.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to do the thing where he rolls out of the pocket and find his receipt. Like, lot to love about what Nico did in a very short amount of time. And I wasn't expecting him to get a ton of work. Like, obviously, you want to keep him healthy. Going forward, you're developing this quarterback. The last thing you need is for him to get injured or like season-ending injury.
Worst nightmare.
Worst possible situation for a developing quarterback.
Yeah, I know.
So they pull him out after I think it was like 2 drives. Gaston Moore and Navy Schuler got in there, played some football. So it was good to see them get some work as well. Navy Schuler, by the way, kneeling the game out, victory formation in front of his dad. So that was sick. Heath Schuler was there. And they gave Navy the chance to do the victory formation, take the knee, and win the game.
That's cool.
So yeah, super cool moment for them. But back to Nico. McAllen Castles caught a 19-yard touchdown from him. Pretty good throw, dart of a throw, but it was kind of a McAllen Castles making a play, trucking over some guys to get in the end zone. And cool little story from after the game. McAllen said that he got Nico to sign those gloves that he caught the touchdown with.
Really?
Yeah, he got Nico to sign the gloves that he caught the touchdown.
Why? Well, I mean,
because like he's making a bet that he's making a bet that Nico's gonna be a big deal, NFL level quarterback.
Yeah, I agree.
And
that's just those cute and funny to me.
I was like, those signed Nico gloves one day from Nico's very first college touchdown.
On eBay.
Like, you think that's like that is Nico's very first college touchdown.
Yeah,
those gloves caught Nico Yamaleava's very first college touchdown.
That's true.
If he goes on to be, some great quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Those are going to be worth a ton of money.
Yeah, that's true.
So sick for him. Would I pay a lot of money for him? No.
Yeah, me neither.
But there are people that definitely
would. There are people that would pay thousands of dollars.
There are people that definitely would.
I know, which is just crazy.
There are people that definitely would now. They buy it for a lot of money now as a college quarterback before he's even started a season, before he started a game for Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
But that pretty much wrapped. By the way, they kept their foot on the gas this entire game. 14, 21, 21, 3 as far as their score in each quarter. And the only reason they only scored 3 in the last quarter was because they switched up the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And they had like third string players on the offense. But the reason they did that was because UConn like came to the Vols side of the field and like started warming up and stuff.
Saw that. Like,
it
what
was
was going on? Why was there so much like
it was
nitpick
weird.
beef?
It was so weird
Like,
because
they knew where they were coming, as much as I hate to say it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
chill out.
that UConn
Pipe
had to have
down.
known what they were getting
Pipe
into.
down.
They're 1-8.
Yes.
We're 1-7 going into this game, playing at ranked Tennessee at Neyland Stadium.
That's what I'm saying. Like, pipe down.
According to Danico Slaughter, they were like chirping and trash talking.
They were real mouthy.
And I'm all for it. If you're if you want to go in there and you want to be mouthy and you want to talk trash or whatever else, put the foot on the gas. Absolutely stomp
go
on
at
them.
it, but show up when you do it.
That's absolutely stomp on them. Stomp on them for 4 quarters. And like you saw at the handshake,
yeah,
Josh Heupel like went to shake the guy's hands, was like super quick, and then like he walked off. Yeah.
Josh Heupel smart, like smiled at
yeah. Kind of telling on what that situation was.
Yeah.
Kind of obvious kind of how the feelings were for that one. But that leaves us now. Tennessee is 7-2, ranked 17th, and they are traveling to Missouri. Where is that? Where is there? Columbia, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, traveling to Columbia.
Memorial Stadium.
Traveling to Columbia. Yeah, Memorial Stadium. 3:30. 3:30 game, 3:30 kickoff. Line is Tennessee by 1. Tennessee is once again road favorites. So that tells you something.
How you feel?
If Tennessee's a road favorite, that's a good sign.
Yeah, I agree.
Because road favorites, it is not easy to be a road favorite, especially in college football. They put a heavy emphasis on home field advantage. ESPN's FPI, 60.6% Vols, 39.4% Mizzou. So again,
that's good. That's
pretty telling because ESPN's FPI is again very, very in favor of home teams.
Mm-hmm.
So the Vols ranked 17th, going to number 12 Missouri, to play them. Both got the same record, both 7-2, 3-2 in the conference. Mizzou, their losses. Who is Missouri lost to? They've lost to Georgia,
LSU.
They lost to Georgia and LSU. Yeah, Georgia and LSU. Beat Kentucky by 17 points. Beat South Carolina by 22 points.
They didn't beat Vanderbilt by that much.
Barely beat Vanderbilt. I say barely beat
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt. 17 points.
It's not that much.
Against Vanderbilt, that's barely.
True.
Barely beat Kansas State 3 points, which is understandable. Kansas State was a good team at that time. Barely beat MTSU 4 points, 4-point difference. 23-19. 25-point difference against South Dakota, and a 7-point difference over Memphis. So they have not been winning games by much.
Yeah.
Their point differential is not good. Lost to Georgia by 9. Lost to LSU by 10. So they play in close games. That's what Missouri does. It's what they want to do. But against Tennessee in the past, we think about last year here in Knoxville, it was 66-24. Vols stomped on them. Yes. Year before that in Columbia, 62-24. Stomped on them. All right. Those are the Heupel years. Those are the times it has been Josh Heupel as the coach when they play Missouri. They have won in the 60s and allowed 24 points. Tells you.
Good sign.
Hey, great sign. Great sign.
It's a good sign.
And the win streak goes as far back as 2019 when they started winning. It was 24-20 then, and then 35-12 here in Knoxville in 2020. And they had a 2-streak loss before that, both pretty bad losses, 17-50, both times in 2017 and 2018. But we know what was going on here in Tennessee in 2017 and 2018. Not great coaching here in Tennessee for that stretch. But going into this, I like the Vols' chances, being honest. Really like the Vols' chances, actually, against Missouri. Going on the road, sure, that's going to be tough. Yeah, this Missouri defense has so much going on for it, and Brady Cooks played so well, and this, that, and the third. But Missouri has not played a ton of great football. They've barely eked out some of these wins, and I feel like a team like that is going to be vulnerable to what Tennessee does, and that's they open it up offensively, particularly early in the game, throwing the ball down the field. Joe, he's going to be airing it out, trying to take advantage of those Missouri corners, with Squirrel White playing like he is, and Dante Thornton's kind of coming on, and Ramel Keaton is finally cooking, and he's finally to where everybody thought he was going to be. And especially when you got a guy like Jalen Wright back there, who any given time, that's a touchdown. Anytime he's on the field, he's a touchdown risk.
Yep.
So it's a tough task for that Missouri defense. This is going to be the toughest task the Missouri defense has faced probably all season. Maybe you could argue Georgia or LSU was a harder offense to go up against.
Yeah.
But regardless, it's going to be tough for them to overcome what Tennessee does. They've got that receiver. I can't think of his Luther Burden the third.
Missouri.
First of all, crazy name.
Yeah, crazy name.
Crazy name. But he's balling this season. 64 receptions, 958 yards. Trying to break 1K against Tennessee. 7 tutties. So he's been playing really well. And his matchup's probably going to be Gabe Judy Lally like most of the time. And I don't love that matchup. But it's what we got, and they did. I can't even I feel dumb saying it. They did good against the Kentucky receivers. Not much going there.
Yeah.
Obviously, they cooked UConn's receivers.
Yeah.
That's a gimme.
Yeah.
Last time we saw them really have to guard somebody was Alabama, and that did not go well. Did not go nearly as well. Who was Alabama's leading receiver? Was it Burton? It was Isaiah Bond. Oh yeah, because he was the one that had that like breakaway touchdown at the start of the second half.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 3 receptions, 77 yards for him. So that means Gabe Judy Lally's assignment would have been Jermaine Burton, their number one, and he did not lead their team in receiving. So that might be a good sign.
I mean, it's not a bad
4
one.
catches for 62 yards.
Yeah.
Did have a touchdown of his own. But that touchdown was over Danico Slaughter. I remember that. It was one where Danico Slaughter got like mossed.
Oh, yeah.
Yikes. But Danico did play better last time. So
yeah,
shout out to him. So yeah, Heupel, pretty good record against Missouri. Actually was offensive coordinator at Missouri for a little while.
Got a little history.
Worth mentioning. So yeah, there's some history there, and Heupel has been absolutely dogging on him for it since he's come to Tennessee. So Presley, who do you want to see as like your number one MVP for this game?
I want to say Joe Milton.
Fair.
I want to see, and I feel like I say like not the most basic people, but like I just want to see. I feel like we get a little bit from Joe every game. Especially this past few weeks, we've got a little bit more from him each time, and I just want him to show not no mistakes because nobody's perfect, but I just want him to just like this be a game for him.
Yeah, like, you want a Joe Milton game.
I want a Joe Milton game.
You want a Joe Milton game.
And I think he needs one.
We need it. Yeah, we do need a Joe
bits
Milton.
and pieces of some, but like I want like the full game, like 4 quarters. Like this is our quarterback.
A Joe Milton game would be fire.
Yes, a Joe Milton game. So that's who I picked.
All right, for me, I'm gonna go defense here. Tyler Barron.
Okay, I like that.
He's been a little more active past couple weeks.
I like that one.
Let's see him continue it.
Yeah.
Let me get a strip sack. Let me get a little turnover. Force a little turnover, some big third down sacks. Like
something else.
Let me get a little bit, Tyler Barron. I mean, I've seen these scouts out here. They've been watching him. They were watching him last year.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a Denver Broncos scout staring at him during warmups.
Yeah.
This is a guy that has NFL aspirations, Tyler Barron does. So you need to show them why you're worth a pick.
Yeah.
Show them
I
why
agree
you're
with
worth a 4th, 5th, 6th round pick.
the little pick.
Get out there, ball against Missouri, home or road environment, tough environment, good defense, solid offensive line. Go make something happen. That's what I want to see. But now it's time for the score prediction.
34-21 us.
34.
I don't think it's gonna. Well, I don't know. That was my initial pick, right?
Yeah.
And then whenever I hear, not that I completely go back because we got different teams, obviously, but whenever I hear past scores, it's just kind of like Jesus, like.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see it. I don't see it being like that. I see it being somewhat a little close, and I don't see it. I don't see us in the 60s. I really don't.
No, yeah.
I don't see us anywhere up there. So
there's no chance they put up 60 points this time. But
so that's mine. Yeah.
That being said, I'm gonna say Missouri's score stays the same as the last 3 years.
Which was
24.
I said 21. Okay, yeah.
I think they will continue to score 24. I think they'll score exactly 24 points again.
Okay.
But the Vols are not scoring 60, 62, 66. They're not scoring that many. They're not like if we go in the order, it was 66 and 62. So if we were to continue the pattern, it'd be 60 or it'd be 58. They're not scoring 58 points.
No.
They're not gonna score 40 points. I think it's 37-24 Vols. So actually just an extra field goal for both teams from what you said.
What I said. I was about to say really close. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 37-24 Vols.
I think those are very fair predictions.
The more I think about it.
Do you think more?
No, less. Maybe 31-24 Vols. That's what I'm gonna give. I'm gonna say 31.
A lot of hope into this one.
I'm gonna say 31-24 Vols.
I'm done overthinking our games.
That's mine. 31-24 Vols. So a field goal less for the Vols and a field goal more for Missouri, from what you said.
Yeah. I like it.
Solid.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah, let's see it happen. It's actually got to happen first. But we will certainly see. Next up, basketball. It's basketball time in Tennessee.
Thank goodness.
Basketball time in Tennessee. We're up.
Let's go.
Going. We had some preseason games go on.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee Lady Vols took on Carson Newman, beat them like 100 something to 75 or something like that. Bad defense, to be honest, but that being said, it was an exhibition. I mean, you're getting Edie Darby 20 minutes or something like that. Like not obviously not going to happen in a real game. But still a little concerning that they gave up 75 points to Carson Newman.
Yeah.
Then they turn around and played Team USA.
Which was crazy.
Team USA.
That was fun. I went. Riley was obviously there, but I was there. I was happy to be there.
Such a sick moment.
Yeah,
Such
I'm
a sick
so happy to be there.
What like a cool thing to see.
Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
Leah Boston, they're just like right down there, right in front of me.
Yeah, Brittany Griner's first game since her whole ordeal in Russia, her first official game.
Wasn't it like 20? How long ago was that? 2021?
It was 2020. Yeah, it was 2020.
2021.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Wait, I'll look it up. When?
Well, it sounds right.
I don't know. When did Brittany Griner get free? It was 2022. It was 2022.
But did she play after she got freed?
No. This is her first game. This was her first game. Yeah. This was her first game since she's been free.
Yeah.
Yeah, so almost a year since she got out.
Yeah.
So cool moment to see. Obviously, the Lady Vol crowd popped off for when they announced her as the starter.
I was happy for that too.
Yeah, it was cool to see. Even cheered for Diana Taurasi, who obviously was a UConn Husky.
Yeah.
Did a little joke in the post-game press conference where somebody asked about the reception she got, even though she was at UConn, and she was like, "Yeah, Knoxville is a cool little city," and she said, "I wish I'd been recruited here," or something like that. Just joking around.
I liked that. I thought it was a very like good atmosphere. Like there wasn't any.
Yeah, and Knoxville is one of those places that's like home to women's basketball.
Yes.
Like you think about where women's basketball started, it's Knoxville, Tennessee with Pat Summit. And I mean, Diana Taurasi talked about that in her post game press conference. She was talking about how like this is the home for women's basketball. This is where it started. And she could acknowledge that even as a former UConn Husky. She could acknowledge that this is the home for women's basketball. This is like where it all started. And it was a super cool moment for the Lady Ball basketball players. And it was cool because you could see even like throughout the game, they're coaching, the Team USA players are coaching the Lady Ball players. Like I think back to, it was like right as soon as the final buzzer went off, Brittany Griner goes over to Tamari Key and like gives her like is giving her a tip on like how she was posting up and how how Brittany was able to beat her as she was getting posted up. So it's just cool to see little stuff like that. But what is really cool, Rickea Jackson led everybody in scoring, led more than just it wasn't just the leading scorer for the Lady Vols, was the leading scorer for the game. Rickea Jackson. Rickea Jackson.
Rickea Jackson, period.
Rickea Jackson is her.
In the sentence, like
she's her. She's her. Right when you're watching, you know. Oh, I don't even think I ever said the score. It was 95-59. Team USA. Again, not bad, especially when you consider that it is Team USA losing by 36 points to Team USA.
As bad as I thought it was.
These are WNBA legends.
Pretty much.
Some of the best women's basketball players in the world.
When I walked into the game, I told Peyton and everybody listening to me, I said, we're about to get smacked, but I'm so excited. And the entire time I was like, this is not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, the whole time I thought the final score could end up being like 120 to like 50.
Yeah, me too.
I genuinely going into that game, like I knew the Lady Vols were going to be competitive, but I just thought like they're gonna be out there and they're gonna be like hitting shots, and there's not gonna be much the Lady Vols can do about it. Exactly. Like these are, like we said, the best.
I mean,
the best of the best. But Rickea Jackson, even among that, showed out, and she showed that she is going to be a top pick in the WNBA draft. And Maria Cornelius, who's like one of the big Lady Vols beat reporters, right, in the post game, asked Team USA's coach about Rickea Jackson and how she had seen in mock drafts and stuff for WNBA that there is not a whole lot of hype for Rickea Jackson. Like some people even have her going outside the top 12. And Team USA's coach, she said that's all like garbage. She was like these analysts and experts actually have no clue what they're talking about when it comes to these mock drafts for the WNBA. And she was like, if I had to say anything, I would tell Rickea to go out there, play her ball, and the opportunities are going to be there.
That's right.
And it's like, yeah,
that's right.
But yeah, if you look at Rickea Jackson,
her play,
it's like you can't guard her mid range.
No.
Like you just can't. Because she charges into the paint.
She's so quick.
Charges into the paint. You got to fall back, and then she just knocks it down. Like little step back, knocks it down.
Falling through the net.
Rickea Jackson is crazy. Just insane. And she didn't even play that much. That's the crazy part. Led all scorers, didn't even play like that.
Yeah, she really wasn't.
She was
on the floor that much.
Yeah, she was like out of the game for most of the second half.
Yeah.
Third quarter, fourth quarter, wasn't playing a whole lot. But yeah, 15 points for leading the entire game. Jillian Hollingshead, both all the bigs. Caroline Striplin, when she was on the court, she got into some foul trouble early, so didn't play very much. But played well when she was on the court, was really going for those rebounds. She's probably the best rebounder on the team. Jill played super well up against Brittany Griner and Aaliyah Boston. Like she was playing well. Jillian Hollingshead was, and Tamari Key got plenty of minutes, got a ton of minutes. Because Kelly was saying that she really wanted to get the Tamari Key versus Brittany Griner matchup, and she said the way the minutes worked out and stuff, like she kept barely missing out, like trying to get Tamari in right as Brittany was coming out.
You know what's crazy to me? I was sitting in the stands and I was like, I genuinely thought this in the middle of a game. I was like, it is so crazy. Like if you like if as a student here and like as someone that has like college basketball friends, my best friend plays college basketball, like just people, normal people like us, like the girls that are on that team right now are playing against like Brittany, like the best. And I
Yeah.
was just freaking out. I was like, I can't imagine if I was Edie Darby right now. Like if you told me 5 years ago, like that I was gonna be in a game while Brittany Griner's, I'm playing against her or Leah Ball, just like I would have freaked out. Like that's
Yeah, like,
so crazy to me. It felt so surreal. I was like, this isn't real. Like these kids we just go to class with and they're playing the best of the best right now.
yeah, I took a picture during the game,
I was
and it
like,
had
what?
like Edie Darby in the same frame as Brittany Griner, and I was like, who would have thought? Like that's crazy.
Like that's crazy.
It's such a sick opportunity
It is
for them,
sick.
though.
It's awesome.
And obviously, like they talked to the team, they'd been working together throughout the week and things like that. Like, they got a lot out of it. And fun fact, the last time the Lady Vols played Team USA, Lady Vols won a championship.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wasn't Kelly Harper a freshman too?
No.
I'm pretty sure she was.
No.
Not the last time. Not the last time. The first time. The first time. My fault.
Yeah.
The first time they played.
Yeah, Kelly Harper did play against
Team USA. Which is crazy to me.
Kelly Harper did play against Team USA when she was here at Tennessee. She said her first time, it was like her introduction to college basketball. It was like her first time really getting real minutes or something like that.
Insane to me the fact that we can play.
She said that she like threw she went to like pass the ball and it was a Lady Vol. I can't think of who it was, but it was Lady Vol playing for Team USA.
Yeah.
One of the best defensive players in women's basketball history, stole the ball from her. And that was like her intro to college basketball.
See, that's just crazy to me.
Just grabbed it from her, scored her layup. Like it's like that was her introduction. Crazy. By the way, Lady Vols out rebounded Team USA.
That's good.
Just saying. Lady Vols are gonna be good this year.
Basketball is going to be good this year.
And Diana Taurasi said that as well about Rakia Jackson. She said she said like the way she can move, the way she shoots the basketball, she's gonna take Tennessee very far this year.
Well, I hope so, and I trust the Team USA coach. So
I trust Diana Taurasi's her advice.
With a bad experience, yeah.
Yeah, I think Diana Taurasi's got it. I think she knows what she's talking about.
I think she knows what she's talking about.
One of the greatest women's basketball players of all time. Not as great as Candace Parker, the GOAT. But Diana Taurasi's still playing extremely well. I think she's 41, playing extremely well even now. So super long career, and she's absolutely balling still for Team USA. Lady Vols play tonight. That's why I'm dressed like this, actually, is because I'm pretty much gonna walk from here right over to the Thompson Bowling Arena, right? The Food City Center. We're Thompson Bowling Arena at Food City Center. Walk right across the street, go there, and watch Lady Vols play the Florida A&M Rattlers. By the way, Rattlers. Yeah, sick mascot.
What is it? Is it that? I wouldn't have guessed that's what that would have been.
It's a sick.
It is sick.
Yeah, I like the mascot. It's sick. But yeah, playing against number 11 Tennessee. They opened the season as number 11. Feel like maybe a little underrated.
I was about to say, I agree. I agree with that.
Oh, and before we move on from women's basketball,
talk about it.
Yeah, we're talking about it. Kim Mulkey, LSU, took a big old L.
Fat L. It happened.
To Colorado women's basketball.
And
Colorado women's basketball.
Like Kim Mulkey stan. Like I like her. But I'm so glad that this happened. I really am. I'm not praying on their downfall. I'm just like, it's so exciting to see that happen.
I'm praying on their downfall. They tried to build a super team. I hope it falls apart.
Okay, that's not.
They tried to build a super team. I hope it falls apart.
They did. Haley Van. Yeah, they did.
They brought Haley Van Lith. She didn't look good in her first game.
I agree. I just said I'm not praying on their downfall, but I like to see it happen.
I am.
Riley is, but I'm not.
I want to see these Lady Vols win the SEC.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like the fact that, I don't know, it's just, there's so much in the air at the beginning of the season. Like there's not in there. There's so many what ifs, like not predictions, but there's so many what ifs.
Yeah.
Like we could go so far. We really can.
The
And
Lady
I hope it
Vols,
happens.
the Lady Vols have a pretty tough schedule like coming up, right? They play Florida A&M, which is probably a layup, and then you got Florida State. You're at Florida State, ranked 18th. That's a tough game. That's going to be really hard.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a national televised game, ESPN2. Then you come back home. You got Memphis, Troy, and then you have Indiana at home. Memphis is not a layup either. Indiana is going to be tough. Oklahoma, who they got after that, tough. Notre Dame, again, ranked 10th, going to be tough. That's also at TBA. Ohio State at TBA, that's going to be tough. They're ranked 7th. Like, they do not have an easy schedule. Lady Vols just don't. They have that is a brutal stretch of 4 games. Yeah. Indiana, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Ohio State.
It really is.
That's a brutal stretch of 4 games. That's tough. So they're going to be very, very prepared for when SEC SEC play comes around, tournament play comes around.
We're gonna see what this team is.
I think the Lady Vols are gonna be much better off for having
a tough schedule.
Yeah, early on in the year.
I agree.
Tough non-conference schedule. I think it's gonna be good for them going forward, and I'm excited to see what this team does because they've got some playmakers. Destiny Wells coming in from Belmont, Jewel Spear.
They got some playmakers.
I forget where Jewel Spear transferred from, but she's a baller. From what I've seen very little of against Team USA, she's a baller. A guy that I want to get on the podcast, friend of ours, BG, practice player for the Lady Vols. He said Jewel Spear is a baller. So when BG comes on, we'll be talking plenty of
we'll get the
Lady Vol basketball. We'll bring BG on.
We need to bring BG on and Peyton. Like, we need to set that.
Yeah, we need to get BG and Peyton on.
You set that up.
We're gonna get them on soon. We'll get them.
It'll happen. Take our word on this one.
Yeah, because that's something we've wanted to get them on for a while. So we're gonna make that happen for sure. Because they're fun. They've been wanting to come on too. So it'll be fun to have them on and talk ball with them. But, from there, we'll switch it from women's basketball over to the men's. And they played their season opener yesterday. It's been a busy stretch for me, by the way.
It's been stressful for you because I'm like overwhelmed by how much is going on right now, and I'm not even like participating in it. I'm just like feeding into it.
It was great because I went from the Carson Newman exhibition. I forget what day that was, but I went from that. Then I had the UConn game, and then, dude, but this is back to back, by the way. The UConn game, then Team USA. Then the Tennessee home opener against Tennessee Tech. And now tonight I've got Lady Vols home opener against Florida A&M. It's like been back to back to back to back.
I can't imagine you. I'm like stressed out myself, and I'm just like trying to keep up with it all.
Like, God, can we slow down a little bit?
Yeah, I feel like we're getting a little crazy.
Can we slow it down? Jeez. Y'all got me running back and forth to TBA like I'm running out of gas.
Go to Neil.
Come on, y'all running my gas tank down. But yeah, Vols dominate Tennessee Tech.
What do you expect?
Tennessee Tech only scored 12 points in the first half.
What do you expect?
It was 41-12 going into the half. It had been I want to say 6 minutes into the game. A total of 6 points had been scored between the two teams. It was 4-2. It was 4-2, 6 minutes into the game.
Wow. I didn't realize that.
1 point per minute. Lot of turnovers early in the game for Tennessee, and they forced just as many for Tennessee Tech in that first half. 16-10. Tennessee out rebounded them 35-45. So like pretty good showing for them. Pretty good shooting from them. They make shots, and that's what the Tennessee Tech coach said after the game. He was like, this is the most unique Rick Barnes team I've ever played because they have a lot of history. He coached at Arkansas for a while, and now he's at Tennessee Tech, and they've had Tennessee Tech play them a few times now since he's taken over. And he's like, this is the most unique Rick Barnes team I've ever faced. This is a different Rick Barnes team.
I'm excited.
He's like, usually like they're gonna hold you on defense and they're gonna find open shots, but sometimes like you got some extra chances because they'd miss or they'd get extra chances because they, go for the boards, rebound, get second chance points. He was like, no, they knock the shots down this time. They shoot it and it goes in. It is why so many people are excited for this Tennessee team, maybe a Final Four team. from what people are thinking because of what they did. I mean, it was pretty solid showing. I mean, Jonas Adu didn't have his best game. Was like, I want to say a total of 2 for 7.
Up and down.
Yeah, 2 for 7 from the field. Started pretty cool, but heated up a little bit as the game went on, but did his job. 8 rebounds, what he's out there to do. Got some assists, a steal, 4 blocks.
Whoa.
Solid. I'll take it. But then you got Dalton Connect. We got to talk about Dalton Connect.
Yeah.
Got to talk about Dalton.
He's the buzz right now.
He is the buzz. Transferring from,
I don't know where he came from. I was going to ask you that.
Northern Colorado, I think.
All I know is he plays for us now, and he's doing it well.
Very well.
I mean,
6 of 11 field goal percentage, 2 for 6 from 3, 3 for 3 from the free throw line. He had himself 3 rebounds and 17 points. He went out there. He did not pass the ball. With the ball got in his hands, he was shooting it, and it went in most of the time. Dalton Connect is going to be a baller for this Tennessee team.
Yeah.
Looks
great.
He's going to be a very important part of this Tennessee team. He's big. He probably plays about as close as you can get to like the 4. Maybe you could say Josiah Jordan James is the 4. But it's between those two. By the way, Josiah Jordan James, great game from him as well. 12 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, a block as well for him. So great game for him as well. Kind of what he needed, especially since he has NBA aspirations as well. Mm-hmm. Opening the season, number 9, as number 9, Tennessee is. Had Jemai Meshack get a ton of minutes. Santiago Vescovi played really well. Actually, he didn't play really well. I'll take that back. He actually played really bad. He was 1 for 10. Outside of his shooting, though, he played well. I want to say like he was running the offense well, moving the ball around, and probably the biggest news in this game, Zakai Ziegler.
ZZ.
Gotta talk about Z. He's back. Running the floor. Rick Barnes was, gushing about him post game. He was talking about how Zakai is the heart and soul of the team, and like
so sweet.
They gave the game ball to him. Like he deserves it. Like that's Zakai Ziegler is, and man, the crowd when they announced he was coming off the bench, when they announced Zakai was coming in. Imagine. Oh my gosh, what a cool moment! Like Zakai was like waving to the crowd. He went like. It was such a sick moment. Such a sick moment.
I almost hit him the other day.
Hit him.
I told you about that, didn't I? Almost ran him over.
Oh yeah, with your car.
I'm so glad I didn't.
Oh, she almost set his recovery back like another 3 months.
Me.
Should have stopped. Should have stopped.
But that's besides the point. I just thought about that last night. I was like, what if I actually But yeah, glad he's back.
Tobe Awaka got some time. Did well in his 9 minutes. JP Estrella actually got 7 minutes, which was not something I was expecting. Might be my new favorite player. Huh?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just because of the music he played pregame. You know how they do like the player playlist? He has some good music. He has some Lucky. I was impressed. I was like, okay, JP Estrella. I was like, I don't even know if you're gonna get minutes, but like he might be my new favorite player. And then he ended up playing pretty well in the minutes he got. I want to say he had 4 points. I want to say both of those were slam dunks. Of those were slams. So JP Estrella did one thing really well in that game. He's big. He's pretty tall. You had Freddie Dillion got a ton of minutes, 16 minutes. Not quite as much as some other guys, but 16 minutes, almost as many minutes as Jonas Adu, who started. He played well. Wasn't, I don't know, nothing super jumps out about his game as something he does particularly really well. He's just good at moving the ball around, creating space, which is something that they're putting an emphasis on this season. I think it's pretty obvious from what they were doing against Tennessee Tech. They were moving the ball around a ton. But I want to say the biggest surprise, maybe not surprise, but the biggest news from this game, and probably the best showing from a single player, was Jordan Gainey. Also a transfer. I forget where he transferred from. I have no clue where he transferred from. Where did
Go
he come
ahead.
from? Where did he come from?
I'm about to look right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Where did he come from? He came from. Well, bio was load.
South Carolina upstate.
What?
You were so slow. I found it first.
Well, my South Carolina upstate Spartans. Dalton was from Northwest Colorado, by the way. I did look.
Nice. Knew that one. Yeah, South Carolina upstate. I'm sure you can forgive me for forgetting that one. Just he's electric.
Really?
Yes. He's
He had
electric.
22 minutes.
He is fun. He had 14 points. He's the second leading scorer on the team behind Dalton
How
Connect.
old is he?
Jordan Gain, he's pretty young.
That's what I thought.
Or he looks young. Maybe he's not, but
He does. He
he
looks
looks
baby,
young.
low key.
Oh, he's a junior.
Oh, I was not
I
expecting
would not
that.
have guessed
said
it.
sophomore.
I would not have guessed it. Yeah, I would have said sophomore as well. He's
6'3",
but
6'6".
he is fast. He's so fast.
Not me. Never mind. If he's not me. Never mind.
He said he's you. Cause what did you say? 6'3".
6'3", 176. That's me. And he said I said, never mind. He's not me. Minus that part.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Fun fact: I saw Dalton Connect after the game.
Like, what's up, Dalton?
No, it was at a red light, but I was like,
saw him after, outside of the
Yeah.
stadium after the game. What was he doing? Just walking?
yeah, no, he's driving home. I looked to my right and I was like, oh, that's Dalton Connect.
What's up?
It's at that red light beside Casey's. That's like super long.
Oh, bust up the strap?
Yeah, that takes forever.
Yeah, it does take forever. Turning left.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll never get out.
Yeah, that's where I was. So I sat there beside him for like 5 minutes while we waited on this light.
Just roll down your window and be like,
hey. Yeah,
so
you know Bryson. You remember Bryson?
Bryson Wright?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on the podcast before, obviously. So
Yeah.
you should go back and watch that episode. That was one of our best episodes, in my opinion. But
I like that episode.
he was like, you be sure you tell him he's white boy of the year.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Dog Connect, man. He's balling.
Just go ahead and give it to him. Not even so far. Just go ahead and give it to him.
Yeah, he's just about earned it already.
He's like our Austin Reeves.
The ball's Austin Reeves.
He's the ball's Austin Reeves.
I don't know about that. Oh my gosh. But yeah, he played super well. And I'm excited to see what Dalton Connect does. It's something that the Tennessee has been lacking for a while is like consistent shooting, and they've got a couple of guys now that can do that. Gainey, Vescovy, Connect, obviously. Jamai is getting better at shooting. By the way, Jamai picked up right where he left off as far as defense. He was lights out. Josiah is shooting well. A lot of shooters on this team now. A lot of shooters on this team. So super sick to see for Dalton Connect. But from there, oh yeah, from there, we got one more big news to talk about.
I'm excited to talk about this kind
Major news. It's Josh Dobbs.
He's a Viking.
Astro Dobbs, the PASSTRONAUT. He's got some good nicknames. Hold on. I know, what is it?
Spit out a list of them.
Pro Football Reference. I think that's the website that does all the nicknames. They like,
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too
yeah, it is.
What is it?
They don't have any of his nicknames.
Aw,
That's tragic.
that is tragic.
That's really tragic. He has some cool nicknames. They need to update this. The PASSTRONAUT, Astro Dobbs. He's got some good names. The astrophysicist or whatever. He's insane.
Yeah.
And we got to talk about what Josh Dobbs did, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about what he did.
So Josh Dobbs gets traded to the Minnesota Vikings on,
Like
I forget what day it was.
like Thursday or something. Like it was
He was he had a little more time than Thursday.
Monday.
It was on the trade. It was whatever the trade deadline was. That's probably Wednesday. Usually the trade deadline's on a Wednesday. Hold on, I can look. NFL
Tuesday. It was
trade, because I want to get this right. October 31st.
7 days ago. Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah, Tuesday. So he did not arrive in Minnesota until Wednesday. He did not know his teammates' names. He had not taken a snap during practice. Not a single one. Did not take any snaps during practice that week.
0.
The Vikings had every intention to go with Jaron Hall as their quarterback. But first drive of the game, Jaron Hall, concussion. Boom. Only quarterback that they had ready. Jaron Hall gets a concussion. He's out of the game. It's Dobbs time.
That's crazy.
Has not taken a snap for the Vikings. Was practicing the cadence with his center on the sideline. Do you know how crazy that is?
For the first time ever.
Was going over his cadence with the center for the first time ever. That's crazy. And then
30 minutes before you have to go in and
not
play.
30 minutes, not 30 minutes, 5 minutes before he had to go out and play. They were out there evaluating Jaron Hall on the field for the concussion.
If you had said 2 hours, I still would have been like, that's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy if he did it a week ago.
Yeah, it's true. A week ago.
That like Josh Dobbs he's on the sideline practicing his cadence. He has not run a single play with this team. He does not know their playbook. He doesn't know their language.
He doesn't know them.
He doesn't know the team. He doesn't know guys' full names.
No.
He has no clue what's going on. He gets there, and now he's their quarterback. He's got to lead them to a win against Atlanta, one of the better defenses in the league. Josh Dobbs gets in there. I want to say it was the second. No, it was their third drive. Yeah, it was their third drive. They kicked the field goal on that drive that Jaron Hall gets injured. Very first drive, he goes out there. 3 plays, safety. Josh Dobbs gets sacked in the end zone, safety. Bad start. Bad start for a quarterback.
What else do you expect, though?
Bad start for a quarterback. You go on the next drive for them. He gets sacked, fumbles, and they run it back. Didn't score on it, but they did end up scoring a field goal on that fumble, off of that fumble. The next drive.
Just gonna keep quiet, keep going.
Throws a pass to KJ Osborne. KJ Osborne bobbles it. He's injured.
On a cart.
Off the field. So now in 4 consecutive drives, you have safety, a fumble, and you get a guy basically killed on the field. You get a guy knocked out cold on the field. Tough way to start. You go into the half. It's 10-11. You're down 1 point. The first drive coming out, you fumble again. So now
talking about this doesn't feel real.
So now you in 4 drives with your new team, don't know these guys' names, don't know the playbook. In 4 drives, you have a safety, a fumble, you get a guy knocked out on the field, and then another fumble. Like 3 turnovers, and you get a guy knocked out. You get one of the guys that's been there for weeks knocked out.
Very unfortunate.
Pulled out of the game. From there on out, from that point on, Josh Dobbs like turned on the astrophysics. He turned something on, and
the red button. Emergency button.
It was the Josh Dobbs show from there on out.
It
was insane. Josh Dobbs was dealing perfect balls to routes that he's anticipating routes for guys that he has never played with before. He's anticipating timing on routes, breaks, how fast they're running. It was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen on a football field. When you think about this, he has never practiced with these guys before. He doesn't know how fast they run. He doesn't know how they come out of their breaks. He doesn't know if they want to go upfield a little bit after running an out, or if they, how they curve on their post routes. He doesn't know these things about these players. And he is anticipating throws and getting the ball there. That's crazy.
Insane. It really is.
Insane. And his protection is breaking down in front of him. The guys aren't getting open. He's got drops throughout the game. Like, he's putting the ball perfectly on the money and they drop the ball. There was a lot of adversity in this game for Josh Dobbs. Mm-hmm. Tons of it. You don't know the playbook. Kevin O'Connell is reading the Vikings head coach. Kevin O'Connell is telling him what he's about to see when he calls this play.
Yeah.
He's calling this play to Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs tells it to his teammates. And then before the play clock hits 15 seconds, which is when the speaker in the headset cuts off, that's when he can no longer hear Kevin O'Connell. Before that happens,
it's like getting thrown in an island, like with like
before that happens,
water.
Kevin O'Connell is trying to explain to him what he's about to see happen on this route, what he's about to watch happen in front of him. He's explaining that before the play clock hits 15. And then once the play clock hits 15, it's Josh Dobbs on his own. Josh Dobbs is doing everything on his own. He's evading blitzes. He's rolling out of the pocket. He's making time for himself. He's hitting guys on the run. It is crazy what Josh Dobbs did.
Yeah.
The most remarkable thing I've ever seen. He had a couple of rushing touchdowns. I want to say 2 rushing touchdowns. Or no. One was a rushing touchdown. One was the passing touchdown. But well, I think he had another touchdown earlier on. I don't remember. Yeah, he had
he won the game.
He did win the game. So yeah, he had a nice like little hit the flat. Alexander Madison like chips the edge, gets out into the flat. Josh Dobbs lays it on him perfectly. Tough catch, but he made it. And then Josh Dobbs, that touchdown run was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
The touchdown run was ridiculous. 18 yards from the end zone. He rolls out. He's trying to find a guy. He's got a guy open down the backside, right? But he doesn't know that because he doesn't know these plays. He doesn't know how guys come out of breaks. He doesn't know that he is on his own, and he made it happen on his own.
Yeah.
Rolled out, got a crazy block from Cam Akers. Yeah. One of the craziest blocks I've ever seen. Cam Akers blew that guy up. Josh Dobbs hurdles over him. They run it in. Crazy thing that Josh Dobbs is doing. Crazy things that Josh Dobbs was doing. And then game-winning drive. You have to win the game here. You're down 4 points, 24-28 against the Falcons. You're down. You've got to lead a game-winning touchdown drive. Start on the 25, right? You got to do everything from here on out. First of all, some beautiful passes on this drive. Bad, whatever, protection breaking down, like a lot to be desired. He had another 4th and 7 from like the 34, ran for 22 yards on it. It's like, that's huge. And then obviously had the big touchdown pass to Brandon Powell to win the game-winning touchdown.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Josh Dobbs. That's crazy. Went on the road, beat one of the defenses that was playing the best in the league without knowing his teammates' names.
Yeah, it is crazy. Big ups. I could never.
I mean,
nobody could ever. I mean, not many people could.
There's probably one quarterback on the planet that could do that. And it's Josh Dobbs. And for the sole reason that this guy's like an astrophysicist and he
makes things happen.
Also, basically. Did you see he's going to be orbiting Mars in 2024?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he got selected by NASA to orbit Mars, be a part of a group of astronauts that's going to orbit Mars in 2024.
That's crazy, don't you think?
It's insane.
If someone read to me Josh Dobbs' like life story, I feel like I wouldn't believe him.
It's crazy. His
life story.
He is the most unique player in the league.
Yeah.
And now he's got Vikings fans shaving their eyebrows off, like.
Not my family, but.
Yeah. There was a video that went viral of a Vikings fan shaving his eyebrows off, and he was like, "It's Dobbs season." Jason's already got it ready.
He's already got the haircut.
Got the Josh Dobbs haircut.
They told me they were gonna get me a Viking. I don't own a Viking shirt. Well, really no point for me to have one. I mean, my stepdad and my brothers are all fans, but I'm getting one. Let's just say that. Got to for Dobbs. I'm getting a shirt. For Astro Dobbs, got to. For the PASSTRONAUT, for sure. So now I'm thinking, we saw what he just did to one of the league's better defenses with 4 days with nothing.
Zero preparation.
Yeah,
doesn't
no
know most of his
preparation.
team's name.
So what are we gonna see with a little bit of preparation?
What could Josh Dobbs could lead this team to playoffs?
Yeah, he could.
He could win a playoff game.
That'd be awesome.
He doesn't even have Justin Jefferson. Missing one of their best offensive linemen. They traded him away at the trade deadline to Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not even working with the best Vikings team he could be. And he, one of the gutsiest, craziest wins I've ever seen. When you think about how much a quarterback has to process, all these plays, all the communication that has to happen, that is one of the most remarkable things I've ever seen done on a football field.
I agree.
So, and I'm going to talk about this at length on my NFL podcast.
You should.
Because I have a lot to say about this, and I love what Josh Dobbs did, and I feel like it's relevant to this podcast as well, obviously, since he is a VFL. Just crazy performance from Josh Dobbs. That's as simple as it is. But we've gone pretty long, a little over an hour. I know for a fact because we started at
lots to cover.
We did have a lot to cover. We started at like 2:15. It's like 3:30 now.
Yeah, we went a
little long. There was a lot to talk about. There was a ton to talk about. And particularly, I had a lot to say about Dobbs.
And we'll be back shorter because we won't have as much to cover.
See, don't say that though, because we said that last time. And
I'm gonna text you constantly. We're gonna make it happen. So
yeah, we are. We're gonna make it happen. But it's gonna wrap it up for this episode of the Riled Up podcast. We appreciate you all for watching. Of course, find us at riledup.pod or .podcast on Instagram and Riled Up Pod on Twitter. And then of course we got at Full Press Access. And at Riley Haltom. I'm at Riley Haltom on like everything. So follow us, follow the podcast. We appreciate you all for listening.
Thank you.
Share it, whatever else. We appreciate it all. And we will see you all next time. We got some Missouri game to recap.
We'll be back.
It'll be a fun game. I'm ready for it. Ready to sit down on Sunday, watch some football. We're going to catch you next time. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.